Did you know that within the Criterion Collection there is a whole load of hidden films? And by hidden, I mean that there are extra films in some of the special features on these discs. And I'm not just talking about behind the scenes documentaries, I'm talking about full-on narrative feature-length films. Some of these films could already be on your shelves in your collection and you don't know you have them. Or you could be considering some of these in the sale to pick up at 50% off. So stick around, because in this video I have 10 Criterion releases that all have extra films in the special features. Let's start with Brian De Palma's Blowout, one of his greatest films from 1981, where John Travolta plays a sound effects recordist who thinks he's accidentally discovered a murder happening in his recording. This one's an incredible film. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. And in the special features on this disc, you get Murder à la mode, which is Brian De Palma's first film that he wrote and directed. Most people don't even know this because on the special features on the back of the case, it isn't even the highest one listed. It's tucked in the middle. So do have a look at your own disc if you have this. And it's definitely worth watching his first film because you can see exactly his filmmaking style from the start. Even though it is rougher around the edges, it is there and well worth seeing. Next we have the blaxploitation classic Shaft, directed by Gordon Parks, starring Richard Roundtree as John Shaft. This is an incredible film and a great New York City film. I've said before, I love how the city looks in this particular film. It's iconic and set off a whole new wave of this type of film, which I'm very thankful for because there are so many other favourites of mine within the blaxploitation subgenre. And included in the special features here, you get Shaft's Big Score, which is the sequel film made by Gordon Parks in 1972, which I equally enjoy. So this is well worth getting, not just for the film itself, but because you're getting that extra value with the sequel. Then we come to Stagecoach, directed by John Ford. This is the classic Western which stars John Wayne in the iconic role which basically invented John Wayne as a personality. There is that iconic shot where it pushes in on John Wayne as he's twirling the gun, which essentially is stating he is the next big Western hero for the next few decades to come. If you remotely like Westerns, you have to go back to Stagecoach from 1939, which is arguably the best year for cinema, by the way. Now I do hope that this eventually gets a 4K upgrade, because the Blu-ray is 15 years old at this point, and it's a film that is dying for a new restoration, I think, even though the Blu-ray looks perfectly fine. Maybe I'm just being greedy, but there's no reason to be greedy with this release because you have an additional feature film from John Ford. It's Booking Broadway from 1917. Even though it was the 1930s and early 1940s when John Ford made his name for himself in Hollywood as one of the greatest directors, he had been making films since the silent era. And there's a whole load of treasures within his filmography from the late teens and the 20s that, if you love Westerns, they are some of the greatest Westerns of that period. So not only do you get this early masterpiece, but you get the additional film, which makes this a must-own, in my opinion. Speaking of masterpieces, we have High Sierra, the Humphrey Bogart, Ida Lupino movie, directed by Raoul Walsh. This is a noirish heist movie where Humphrey Bogart plays a career criminal who wants to lead a good life, but he gets dragged into one last job. It's spectacular and a must-see film if you ask me. But in the special features on the Blu-ray, you also get Raoul Walsh's own remake of this film, which was a Western remake called Colorado Territory, which is a very good film. It's just not as good as High Sierra. But to get both films, which are different enough to be enjoyable, you're not just watching the exact same film, it is well worth getting this release. And there's just so much value in this Blu-ray, which I don't see enough people recommend. Next, I have a film from Celine Sciamma, who most people will know from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but you may not know her follow-up to that film, Petite Maman. In this story, we follow this 8-year-old girl who accompanies her parents to visit the childhood home of her mother after the grandmother has passed away. But something magical happens when this 8-year-old girl goes into the forest and meets another girl who seems to be her mother. So the film is from a child's perspective, and it's a way of understanding the emotions that her mother is feeling, but from a child's perspective. I'm really not explaining it as well as I should, because the film is much more powerful than what I have just said. Please trust me on that. But aside from the film itself, you get another feature film in the special features, the stop-motion animated film My Life as a Zucchini, or as it's known elsewhere, My Life as a Courgette. This is a film that was co-written by Celine Sciamma, which came out in 2016. And this is great because these two films are stylistically so different that you're getting quite a wide variety of experiences in this release. Then we have His Girl Friday, the Howard Hawks screwball comedy starring Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell. I've said before how this film has such a rapid pace to it, and the dialogue comes out like machine gun fire. It's a fantastic film, but on the Criterion release you also get The Front Page, which is a 1931 film, which is another adaptation of the same stage play that this film is inspired by. And The Front Page is also from a 4K digital restoration, so you're getting two films in excellent quality in one release. Then we come to one of the greatest films in the whole collection. It's Close Up from Abbas Kiarostami. Much of the Iranian filmmaker's filmography was concerned with taking fiction but then adding layers of reality to it and blending reality and fiction. In this film we follow a man who has been arrested and charged for impersonating another famous Iranian filmmaker, Mohsen Makhmalbaf. In a normal documentary on a subject like this, we would follow the person in question and get to understand why they have done this and what are the consequences for them, and that would be just fine. But like I said, Kiarostami's particular style of filmmaking blends this with fiction, where the characters in this film are played by the real people themselves. So then, because of this clash in the filmmaking style, it invites questions about the nature of cinema and media and its relation to reality and how we consume this media and accept things as reality when they may in fact be more fiction. Honestly, you have to see it for yourself. But if you need more of a reason to get the Criterion disc of Close Up, you also get Kiarostami's first feature film, The Traveller, which is about this young boy who wants to go and see his football team play in a match, but to do so he has to con some of the people in his life and deal with the consequences of that. And for a first feature film, it is incredible and better than most other filmmakers could even dream of making. So the value is here in this release, and I consider this disc an essential Criterion disc. Then we have The Lodger, which is Alfred Hitchcock's early silent film about a killer on the loose, which is somewhat inspired by the tales of Jack the Ripper. Some people may be put off by the words silent film, and if you're not at all familiar with silent cinema, this is a great place to start, because you're beginning with Alfred Hitchcock, who you may know from some of his later works, and you see the DNA of what he was doing in his masterpieces in this early film. But as well as The Lodger, you also get the film Downhill in the special features, which he made in the same year as this one, 1927. Obviously, I think Hitchcock is one of the greatest, so for me, this is essential stuff, and the fact you get two of his films for the price of one, well, isn't that just perfect? Sticking with silent cinema in the Criterion Collection, and a film that I see hardly anyone talk about at all, which is a damn shame, it is Lonesome, the film from Paul Fayos. From 1928, it's a film about the 4th of July weekend, set at Coney Island in New York City. It is a lovely film, and also just a great snapshot of the time. It's just wonderful to be able to watch these people and see what was going on at that time, which seems absolutely ancient by modern standards. But of course you also get another feature film in the special features, The Last Performance, which is from the same director, this time starring Conrad Veidt. So if you remotely like silent cinema, please do seek out this release. it is a great one. And then I have Richard Linklater's Slacker. This is an early film from the director from 1990, set in his hometown of Austin, Texas, which is a myriad of different stories kind of stitched together, set in this place. And the place has such a real character to it. I've been to Austin, Texas in more recent times, and it does feel a lot different to how it feels in this film. I think that's just because it's changed so much over the past 2 decades or so. And Slacker is a film that is not my favourite from Richard Linklater, but I do really admire seeing where a lot of my favourite filmmakers start off and really grow their ideas and their style and find their voice. And if you want to go back to the very start of his career, you do get his first feature film in the special features, which is called It's Impossible to Learn to Plough by Reading Books, which he made a couple of years before Slacker. And you also get a commentary from Richard Linklater on that first film as well. So this release is just incredible value. If you're a fan of independent American filmmaking and Richard Linklater, then this is a must-own. So there you have it, 10 releases, but you get 20 films here. So if you're watching this during the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale, then you're already getting great value in that sale, but you're getting 2 films for the price of 1 if you pick up any of these releases. And that's not even talking about the other special features included on all of these. Please feel free to share your thoughts about any of these films in the comment section on this video. And if you would like some more Criterion recommendations from me, just click the video that's on screen right now. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon.